All right, guys, so we're going to do a little bit of practice with your AR, ER, and IR verb endings. First thing I want to look at is this list of AR, ER, and IR verbs. These are either all of the verbs that you have learned so far this year, or they are also some of the new ones. So if you notice AR verbs, starting with ordenar, these are some new AR verbs, which I will have you practicing in another lesson. ER verbs, this one we haven't quite gone over, but we use that when we say no tengo mi tarea, or when we sing happy birthday, cuantos años tienes. And then these are your new ER verbs. And then you only have a couple new IR verbs. So if you notice, we have a lot of AR verbs. We have a good bit of ER verbs and much less IR verbs. Generally in Spanish, you are going to have a lot more AR verbs, and then the second most you'll have are ER, and then there aren't as many IR verbs. All right, so let's do some practice. All right, so for number one, this should be just a review. We want to say she swims. So the first thing we're going to do is chop off our AR ending. All right, since this is an AR verb, we are going to use AR endings. So I'm going to write my stem, which is N-A-D, and then I'm going to look at my verb endings. So for AR verbs, since she goes down here with the she box, then your verb ending is going to be the letter A. All right, so you try, you desire. All right, so we're going to chop off the AR. So the stem is D-E-S-E. All right, and remember that to is you informal that you use with friends, family, so that's going to match with the AS ending. So to deseas, you desire or wish for. All right, so getting on with the ER verbs and IR verbs, you're going to do the same thing. So for comer, you're going to chop off your ER and you're going to write the stem. And instead of using the AR endings, you just go to the ER endings. And so we are using these students, which remember is multiple people, and so that's going to go in the they box. So your ending is going to be an EN instead of what you're used to doing an AN. All right, so you try number 4. We want to say Juan reads. So first thing we're going to do is chop off our ER. Now notice that leer is kind of different and it has 2 E's. You're only chopping off the last ER. So your stem is going to be LE. And then if you look, Juan is a he, so you're going to go to your he, she, it box, and you're going to add the letter E. So it's going to look kind of weird. It's not pronounced Lee, because remember in Spanish, each letter makes a sound, so it's Juan lee. All right, so for number 5, vivir, remember IR verbs use pretty much the same endings as ER verbs, except for the we and the Spain box. So for number 5, vivir, we're just going to chop off the IR, and our stem is vive, and we are going to go to our ER, IR endings, and this is our they box, and you're going to put an EN. So, ellos viven, they live. All right, so you try number 6. We want it to say you receive. So first we're going to chop off the IR, and our stem is receive. And then we're going to look at our ER, IR endings. Usted has to share the he, she, it box, so you're going to add an E. Usted recibe, you receive. All right, so you try numbers 7, 8, and 9. All right, so for number 7, 8, and 9, you're going to notice that they're all going to look pretty similar. You're going to chop off the endings. For the verb to prepare, notice that it has 2 ARs at the end. It looks kind of weird, but that's how it's supposed to be, preparar. So our stem is prepar, and we're going to add an O. Creer is kind of like the verb leer, where it has 2 E's in the middle. You're going to chop off just the last ER, and our stem is CRE, and since you're talking about yo or yourself, it's going to be an O. Same for escribir, you're talking about yo or yourself, so your verb ends with O. So notice it doesn't matter if it's an AR, ER, or IR verb, the yo box, the endings are always an O, but everything else is going to be a little different. Now, the we box and the Spain box is going to be where it's a little different. Remember, we're not in Spain, so we're not going to be using the endings from Spain. So really the only difference between ER and IR verbs is going to be the we ending. So try 10, 11, and 12. All right, so for number 10, you're going to chop off the AR for to order, and you're going to get ordein. All right, and since this is an AR verb, we're going to go to the we box, and we're going to use amos. So, ordenamos. For aprender, we're going to chop off our ER, and we get aprend. And we're going to go to the ER, IR endings. It's an ER verb, so we're going to use amos, E-M-O-S. And then lastly, our IR verb, abrir, we're going to get abr. And then we're going to go to our ER, IR endings, and since it's an IR verb, we're going to use emos, which is an I-M-O-S.